Today, the top Stoic channel will share with you the power of the right questions. Have you ever asked yourself, what truly matters to you? When you have clarity about your values and direction, it becomes easier to tune out distractions and focus on what's essential. But how do you gain that clarity? Often, we search for answers, yet it's the questions that shape our journey the most. Today, the top Stoic channel wants to share with you 13 profound questions drawn from the Stoics and other great thinkers throughout history. These aren't just philosophical musings, they're tools for self-discovery, decision-making, and personal growth. No matter who you are or what path you're on, these questions can help you rethink, refocus, and ultimately reshape your life. Number 1. Who are you spending your time with? The people we surround ourselves with profoundly shape our thoughts, behaviors, and life trajectory. An old saying is, "Tell me who you spend your time with, and I will tell you who you are." This principle, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, was echoed by Seneca, who emphasized choosing companions wisely to cultivate virtue and personal growth. Parents, mentors, and teachers often remind us that our environment molds our character. But have you truly reflected on this? Are the people in your life guiding you toward your goals? Or are they subtly leading you astray? Every interaction, whether with friends, colleagues, the books we read, or the voices we engage with daily, plays a role in shaping our direction. Imagine spending most of your time with those who dwell in negativity, constantly complaining without taking action. Over time, you too may find yourself absorbed in a mindset of stagnation and defeat. Conversely, if you surround yourself with individuals who are disciplined, ambitious, and committed to self-improvement, you will absorb their energy and mindset. Consider young entrepreneurs who immerse themselves in communities of like-minded individuals. They cultivate resilience, adaptability, and an unyielding pursuit of excellence simply by being in such an environment. Recognizing the detrimental effects of certain relationships does not mean you must sever all ties, but rather, you must consciously limit your exposure and seek out those who elevate you. This is not an easy task, as it often requires distancing yourself from familiar yet limiting influences. Such a choice demands courage and a firm commitment to personal growth. Ultimately, those around us serve one of three roles. They elevate us, they hold us back, or they keep us exactly where we are. Your task is to discern which category each person belongs to and exercise the discipline to align yourself with those who propel you forward. Number 2. Is this within my control? One of the most fundamental lessons in Stoic philosophy comes from Epictetus. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. This simple yet profound insight is the foundation of a resilient and peaceful mind. Yet, how often do we waste our energy on things beyond our control? We grow frustrated with traffic that makes us late, complain about unexpected rain ruining our plans, or dwell on the opinions of others that we cannot change. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, warned against this very tendency. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When we resist reality, we suffer needlessly. But true Stoic, however, learns to distinguish between what can and cannot be controlled. The weather, beyond us. Our response to it, entirely ours. The behavior of others, outside our influence. Our own actions and attitudes, completely within our domain. As Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. So when faced with difficulty, Ask yourself, am I wasting my energy on something I cannot change? Or am I directing my focus toward what I can control? By embracing this mindset, you reclaim your power. You stop being a passive victim of circumstance and instead become the master of your own fate. As Epictetus wisely advised, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Number 3. What does your ideal day look like? Seneca once said that life is made up of individual days. Building upon this idea, Annie Dillard famously stated, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." Yet, how often do we genuinely reflect on what an ideal day looks like for us? Without this clarity, we risk falling into the trap of chasing vague ambitions, more wealth, more status, more influence, without ever considering whether these pursuits align with the life we truly desire. The Stoics, including Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of intentional living. They believed that a well-lived life is not one dictated by external circumstances but by internal clarity and virtue. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, advised, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." This reminds us that each day is a microcosm of our existence. If we continuously defer happiness and fulfillment to the future, we may find ourselves having lived a life of postponement rather than presence. For me, an ideal day is not about grand achievements or relentless productivity. Instead, it is rooted in simplicity and purpose. I wake up early, engage in physical activity, and dedicate uninterrupted time to deep work, whether it be writing, thinking, or creating. I prioritize meaningful interactions with my loved ones. Free from digital distractions, I spend time outdoors, soaking in nature, feeling the warmth of the sun and breathing in fresh air. I guard my time carefully, avoiding unnecessary meetings and obligations that do not serve my higher goals. Most importantly, I strive to be fully present in each moment, engaged with the world and the people around me. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, urged himself to approach each day with discipline and gratitude. Concentrate every minute like a Roman, doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Tenderly, willingly, with justice. His words serve as a reminder that fulfillment is found in how we approach each task, no matter how small, rather than in some distant outcome. When we define our ideal day, decision-making becomes easier. Every opportunity, every request, every demand on our time can be evaluated with a simple question: does this bring me closer to the life I want? Or does it pull me further away? By filtering our choices through this lens, we ensure that we are actively crafting a life of meaning, rather than drifting through one dictated by external pressures. Success is not a distant event, it is a practice, a daily commitment. If we are not actively shaping a life we love through the choices we make today, when do we plan to start? Number 4. To be or to do. John Boyd, one of the greatest military strategists of modern times, once posed a challenging question to the young officers he mentored at the Pentagon: to be or to do? This is not just a career question, but a philosophy of life. There are two paths in life. One leads to status, fame, and external recognition, the pursuit of vanity. The other leads to action, true value, and lasting change, focusing on what matters rather than seeking glory. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do good things, never mind whether others know about them." Likewise, President Harry Truman observed, "It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit." History shows that those who pursue fame often accomplish little of real value. Meanwhile, great individuals from leaders to inventors are not obsessed with recognition, but rather focus on making a real difference. Epictetus admonished, "Do not wish things to happen as you wish them to happen. Wish them to happen as they are, and you will be fine." Success is not about the admiration of others, but about the impact you leave on the world. So ask yourself, do you want to be the one who is praised, or the one who actually creates something worthy of praise? Number 5. If I am not for myself, who is? If I am only for myself, who am I? The ancient Jewish sage Hillel once posed a timeless question: if I am not for myself, who will be? But if I am only for myself, what am I? This thought-provoking statement challenges us to examine the balance between self-advocacy and our responsibility toward others. Are we solely driven by personal ambition, or do we strive to contribute to something greater than ourselves? There is no doubt that self-reliance and perseverance are crucial in life. As Eleanor Roosevelt famously said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." We must believe in ourselves, fight for our place in the world, and take charge of our own destiny. If we do not stand up for ourselves, who will? However, if our sole focus is personal gain, whether status, wealth, or power, then what kind of person have we truly become? Consider General George Marshall, one of the most influential military figures of the 20th century. Despite his remarkable career, he declined the opportunity to lead the Normandy invasion, understanding that the mission's success was more important than personal recognition. His choice exemplifies a fundamental truth: great leaders prioritize the collective good over individual glory. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" True greatness is measured not just by personal success, but by the impact we have on those around us. In sports, there's a saying, if you play for the name on the front of the jersey, they'll remember the name on the back. This principle applies beyond athletics. It is those who serve a greater purpose, who uplift others, that leave a lasting legacy. The real question is not only, who will fight for me, but also, who am I fighting for? Number 6. What am I missing by choosing to worry or be afraid? Fear and worry are thieves of the mind. They drain our energy, distort our perception, and keep us from seeing the bigger picture. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Gavin de Becker, in The Gift of Fear, poses a powerful question. When you worry, ask yourself, what am I choosing not to see right now? This reminds us that attention is finite. Every moment spent on anxiety is a moment lost to clarity, action, and growth. Life will always bring uncertainty and challenges. While fear may seem like a natural response, it rarely serves us in a meaningful way. When we fixate on worry, we blind ourselves to solutions. When we dwell in fear, we miss out on joy, learning, and progress. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, Consider how much time is wasted on imagined catastrophes that never happen. More often than not, our fears either don't come true or turn out to be far less severe than we expected. Meanwhile, life moves forward, opportunities arise, relationships deepen, and moments of beauty unfold. The next time anxiety overwhelms you, pause and ask, is this fear serving me, or is it holding me back? Worry is not just a feeling, it's a choice. And every time we choose it, we are ignoring something else, something more valuable, more immediate, and perhaps even life-changing. As Epictetus reminds us, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Do not let fear steal the present moment. Choose to see beyond it. Number 7. Are you truly doing your job? This question is simple but incredibly powerful. Are you truly doing your job? When Sean Payton was suspended from the NFL for a year, he left the New Orleans Saints with a powerful message, a giant picture of himself in the team's facility with just 3 words: do your job. This phrase, often associated with Bill Belichick, serves as a timeless reminder. Everyone has a role to play, and every job, big or small, matters. Yet, how often do we lose sight of this? Instead of focusing on our own responsibilities, we get caught up in analyzing, criticizing, or worrying about what others are doing. It's easier to blame circumstances than to take ownership. It's easier to point fingers than to put in the real work. But at the end of the day, the only question that truly matters is, are you actually doing your job? If the answer is no, then ask yourself why. Are you avoiding the hard work? Are you making excuses? Are distractions pulling you away from what matters? If so, it's time to reset, refocus, and take action. If the answer is yes, then keep pushing forward, keep refining, improving, and showing up every day. Because success, whether in sports, business, or life, boils down to discipline, the ability to stay committed, to execute consistently, and to focus on what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So stop analyzing, stop hesitating, just do your job. Number 8. What is the most important thing? Before you can prioritize your life, you must answer a fundamental question. What is the most important thing to you? If you don't define what truly matters, how can you ensure you're putting it first? Without clarity, it's easy to chase after the wrong goals, status, money, external validation, only to realize too late that they were never the things that truly fulfilled you. For me, the answer is clear. If someone told me I could sell 10 times as many books but at the cost of my marriage or my relationship with my children, I wouldn't even consider it. Why? Because I know my priorities. My work is important, but it is not the most important thing. Seneca wrote about eudaimonia, the sense of knowing your own path and not being distracted by the paths of others, especially those who are lost. When you have a clear sense of your values and priorities, decisions become easier. You can tune out the noise, ignore what doesn't serve you, and focus your time and energy on what truly matters. So ask yourself, do you know what your most important thing is? And if so, are you living in alignment with it? Number 9. Who is this for? As a creator, entrepreneur, or leader, you must always ask yourself, who am I doing this for? While I was writing this content, I was also asking myself, who is listening, watching, and reading this content for the top Stoic. I have gathered, read, and listened to the stories of my business owners and digital content creators who have no clear idea of their audience. They think that if they just put something out into the world, the right people will find it. But hoping to get an audience is not the same as understanding your audience. Imagine you wrote a book and said, "This is for smart people." What does that mean? Who exactly are these smart people? What do they care about? What problems do they face? To create something meaningful, you have to know who you're talking to, what they need, and why your work matters to them. This is why empathy is a creator's greatest tool. Whether you're making a video, launching a product, or writing a book, don't rely on your gut. Instead, ask yourself, who is this for? Where are they? What do they want? The more you understand your audience, the stronger your work will be. If you can't answer that question, you're creating in the dark. But when you know exactly who you're serving, your message becomes clearer, your impact is greater, and your work is more meaningful. Content that isn't targeted to the right audience can create no value, waste resources, and even negatively impact your brand or business. Ineffective and unattractive content. When you don't identify your target audience, your message may be inappropriate or unappealing. For example, if a cosmetics company creates an ad but doesn't clearly identify whether it's aimed at teenagers or middle-aged women, the message may be too general and not hit the right chord, resulting in low effectiveness. Another example of a failed media campaign is not knowing who it's targeting. A good example is Pepsi's 2017 ad featuring Kendall Jenner. The ad was criticized for trying to capitalize on the youth protest movement but presented it in a superficial way, offending the intended audience. As a result, Pepsi had to pull the ad and faced a huge backlash. Negative customer reactions. If the content is inappropriate, customers may feel misunderstood or even offended. An example is the fashion brand H&M, which was heavily criticized for posting an image of a black boy wearing a hoodie with the words, "Coolest monkey in the jungle." They did not realize that the message could be interpreted as racist, leading to a global boycott. Thus, if you do not understand your target audience, it will lead to ineffective content creation, wasting resources, damaging your brand reputation, and even creating a media crisis. Therefore, before starting to create content, the most important thing is to thoroughly research your target customers to ensure that the message is conveyed correctly and effectively. Who is this for? Number 10. Does this actually matter? We waste so much energy on things that don't truly matter: petty arguments, fleeting insecurities, trivial conflicts, and unnecessary worries. These distractions consume our time and mental energy. Yet when we step back and ask ourselves, does this actually matter? The answer is often no. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of stripping life down to its essentials. He advised, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Most of what we stress over is not. By removing the inessential, we free ourselves from distractions and gain the ability to focus on what truly matters. History offers countless examples of people who embraced this mindset. Take Steve Jobs, for instance, known for his relentless focus. He often asked his team at Apple whether something was truly necessary. This clarity of thought allowed him to create revolutionary products that changed the world. Similarly, Warren Buffett avoids distractions by using his famous to-do list strategy. He writes down his top 25 goals. Then he eliminates everything except the most crucial 5. The rest, he says, are merely obstacles to real success. Stephen Colbert, the comedian and late-night host, experienced profound loss when his father and 2 brothers died in a plane crash. His mother, in helping him cope, posed a powerful question: can you look at this in the light of eternity? This perspective shift helped him focus on what truly matters: love, family, and purpose. In the grand scheme of things, most of our worries fade into insignificance. What remains are the relationships we nurture, the meaningful work we do, and the kindness we show others. So, the next time you feel stressed or frustrated, pause and ask yourself, does this actually matter? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, give it your full attention. Number 11. Will this be a live time or dead time? There are moments in life when we find ourselves waiting for the right opportunity. Waiting for circumstances to change. Waiting for something to happen. But how we choose to use these moments determines everything. Robert Greene once asked me a question that changed my perspective. Will this be a live time or dead time? At the time, I was in a transitional phase, uncertain about my next steps. I had a year ahead of me with no clear direction. He challenged me to decide, would I use that year to grow, learn, and prepare for the future? Or would I waste it, merely passing the time? That question echoed in my mind years later. During the pandemic, the world had slowed down. Routines were disrupted, and many felt stuck in a period of waiting. But again, the choice was the same. Would this be a live time or dead time? The live time is intentional. It's when you use every moment to improve, to gain wisdom, to move forward. It's when you see obstacles as opportunities rather than excuses. Dead time, on the other hand, is passive. It's waiting for something external to change instead of taking control of what's within your power. Seneca once wrote, "Life is not short, but we waste much of it. We kill time, forgetting that time is also killing us. Every moment that slips by unused is a moment lost forever." The truth is, we always have the power to turn any moment into a live time. The question is whether we choose to. So ask yourself, am I using this moment, or am I letting it slip away? Because the sum of those choices shapes the person you become. Number 12. Is this who I want to be? Every action, every decision, every habit, no matter how small, shapes who you are. When you find yourself facing a choice, ask, is this who I want to be? Are you acting with integrity? Are you staying true to your values? Or are you taking a shortcut, making an excuse, or choosing the easier path that doesn't align with the person you aspire to become? Life constantly challenges us with situations that force us to reflect on our identity and choices. The question, is this who I want to be, is not just about the present moment but a call to align our actions with our true values. The Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, teach us that self-examination is essential in living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This urges us to focus not on external validation but on our own moral compass. If our actions today do not reflect the person we aspire to become, Then we must take responsibility and change. Epictetus emphasizes personal agency. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This highlights the importance of defining our ideal self and committing to the necessary actions. We are not passive participants in life but active shapers of our character. Real-world examples prove the power of this mindset. Consider Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, who, despite unimaginable suffering, chose to find meaning and purpose in life. His ability to rise above circumstances aligns with the Stoic belief that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Cheryl Strayed once wrote, "You are becoming who you will be, so you might as well not be an asshole." It's a blunt truth, but a powerful one. Every moment is a step toward your future self. If you constantly compromise, if you justify actions that don't reflect your values, you're reinforcing habits that will define you. But if you hold yourself accountable, if you make decisions aligned with your highest self, you shape a future that you can be proud of. A simple rule to remember: how we do anything is how we do everything. So the next time you act, ask, is this a reflection of my best self, or am I betraying the person I want to be? So, when faced with doubt, ask yourself, am I acting in accordance with my values? Am I growing into the person I want to be? If the answer is no, the path is clear: change, improve, and strive for excellence. As Seneca wisely said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Number 13. What is the meaning of life? If I could leave you with one final question, it would be the same one Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, once posed. We often ask, what is the meaning of life? But Frankl turned the question around. It is not we who should demand an answer from life. It is life that asks us. And the way we respond, through our actions, our choices, and our character, is how we provide the answer. The question, what is the meaning of life, has been pondered by philosophers for centuries. For the Stoics, life's meaning is not found in external wealth, power, or fleeting pleasures, but in virtue, wisdom, and living in harmony with nature. This perspective encourages us to seek purpose not in what happens to us but in how we respond to life's challenges. Meaning is not something we stumble upon or passively receive, it is something we create. The Stoics understood this well. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Our purpose is shaped by what we do, how we treat others, and the intention we bring to each moment. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This reflects the Stoic belief that meaning is not something we discover externally but something we create through our thoughts and actions. Similarly, Epictetus emphasized that true fulfillment comes from mastering our desires and fears rather than chasing external validation. The question itself plays a crucial role in personal growth. It forces us to reflect on our values and choices, leading us toward a more meaningful existence. According to Seneca, life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficiently generous measure to allow the accomplishment of the very greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested. This reminds us that meaning is not about duration but about how we live each moment with purpose. So as you move forward, reflect often. Am I living in a way that gives life meaning? Because in the end, meaning is not a distant treasure to be found, it is built. Moment by moment, through the choices we make. This distinction is vital. It determines how you spend your time, how you make decisions, and ultimately, how you will be remembered. Will you chase status or seek substance? Will you live passively or with purpose? The answer to this question will define not only your life but also the impact you leave behind. Ultimately, the Stoics teach that the meaning of life is within our control. By practicing wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, we align ourselves with nature's order and fulfill our role as rational beings. In questioning life's meaning, we are not seeking an external answer but a deeper understanding of ourselves and how we ought to live. The right questions have the power to change your life. By reflecting on these Stoic principles, you gain clarity, purpose, and resilience in a world full of distractions. But knowledge alone isn't enough. True wisdom comes from action. So, we challenge you. Which of these questions resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments. Your insights not only help you internalize these lessons but also inspire others on their own Stoic journey. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Top Stoic. By doing so, you're helping us spread timeless wisdom to more people seeking clarity and strength in their lives. Join our community and let's grow together one Stoic lesson at a time. Hit that subscribe button now and embrace the philosophy that will transform your life.